The last decade in Indian cinema can easily be called as the dawn of independent filmmaking. It has taken a giant leap, starting off with films like Ship of Theseus, The Lunchbox, to films like Pelli Chupulu and Arjun Reddy, and many more. Each of these films were technically sound and artistically valuable despite the budgetary and external constraints, and Masan is one of them. The film's heart lies in the city of Varanasi, the city that believes and questions the concept of life and death at the same time. The dichotomy is very evident in the film's structure too. It can be termed as the journey of the characters between order and disorder, back and forth, of course. This theme of order and disorder is realized by drawing parallels to the needs and morals of humans. Needs versus morals. Needs often bring out the best in a man. Best in terms of magnitude? A strong yes. But best in terms of direction? I don't think so. Each lead character in Masan is motivated by a basic yet strong need. An intense first scene starts off with an incident that puts Devi's need for love that evidently lacked in her life and lust at the center. And gradually, due to the consequences of that particular incident, we also find her need for the respect she deserves and being morally correct in terms of her individuality. Multiple changes in her job eventually shed light on the moral aspect of qualification is to the kind of work ratio, and the journey focuses on her journey from disorder to order. Though varying in sense, Deepak's life is also motivated by similar needs like love and financial stability, whereas his life deflects from order to disorder. The moral aspect of Deepak's life is as evident as that of Devi's but dissolves in the context of communal prejudices. The most subtle yet interesting character of the film, Vidyadhar, goes through the depths of conflict between his needs and his morals along with his associate at work, literally and metaphorically, Jhota. His inevitable war for respect and financial urgency, ironically, at one point takes a toll on Jhota's life, who himself is driven by a need that is a building block of evolution: curiosity.
हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं, हमको लग रहा है हम पैसा दे देंगे तो
मजाक समझ रखा है। फुटकर उठकर नहीं चलेगा। बच्चे हैं आप, बार बार समझाऊंगा आपको।
इस हफ्ते हम इस महीने का कर देंगे, इसको रख लीजिए।
Visual storytelling. As we've said before, movies are considered to be a powerful medium of storytelling because they communicate visually. In Masan, it had been done skillfully. Songs are often used to express the inner voices of the characters or the writer himself. Here, along with the meaningful and deep lyrics penned by Varun Grover and Sanjay Sharma, the visual storytelling also stands out. Lights and balloons as metaphors in Tu Ki Se Rail to creating visual analogy on screen with the lyrics in Man Kasturi, the usage of visual language was a treat. Aided by Avinash Arun, the cinematographer, who happens to be an FTII grad, Neeraj Ghewan pulled out pleasing yet real images that get imprinted in our head forever. Piyush's gift acts as a visual metaphor to represent Devi's guilt and gets resolved once she visits his house and confesses to his parents. Deepak's establishing shot where the stick with fire he uses to burn the corpses is cut to the stick with fire used by his mother to cook food communicates a lot without a single dialogue. The setup of Deepak and Shalu traveling to the other side of the city, Sangam, which means a joining point, to spend quality time for the first time, and Deepak along with Devi boarding a boat to take a ride towards the same Sangam at the end of the film gives you enough information you want. Lost love. Love, as an integral part of both the stories, keeps us glued with emotion. The subjective connection with the characters eventually add to the misery as we cannot stop ourselves from crying as Deepak cries out saying,
साला ये दुख का खत्म नहीं होता बे।
Devi, on the other hand, is directly pushed into the face of consequences without a proper journey with her love. The guilt builds upon her as her internal struggle piles up until it bursts. Pankaj Tripathi's character Safia Ji also falls into the same game and he loses Devi, who still is equipped by the vulnerable state caused due to her lost love. The threads. Multiple themes and things work as connections between various characters in the film. Varanasi acts as the major anchor for the determination of recurring themes. From Facebook that helps the lovers to know each other to the ring that of course leads to the ultimate payoffs, each thread has been written quite interestingly. In a seemingly breathtaking scene, after losing the ring and failing to find it, Deepak finally finds himself. Lost love can also be considered as the common thread as it fuels the stories and takes them forward. Communal prejudice. From a broader perspective, the film can be considered as a true and brutal depiction of the social world that we are living in. The dialogue by Devi
जितनी छोटी जगह उतनी छोटी सोच.
sums up the characters' programmed mindsets leading to the incomprehensible prerequisites. Perspectives towards sex before marriage, utter belief in the caste system, government officials polluting their power, to name a few. Apart from these dark aspects of the society, the film also tries to spill some beans about the daily practices that we unconsciously follow without giving it a thought. Deepak, who is internally traumatized for belonging to a lower community, ironically vents out on Shalu about the issue that she isn't even responsible or related to from any viewpoint. The payoffs of the film were evident yet powerful. They emphasize on the themes perfectly, and the twist of fate also sums up beautifully. As art is often regarded as a universal language that bound people together irrespective of cultural and geographical limitations, poetry acts as a language of love between Deepak and Shalu.
सुनिए, सितारों को आंखों में महफूज रखना, बड़ी देर तक रात ही रात होगी. मुसाफिर हैं हम भी, मुसाफिर हो तुम भी. किसी मोड़ पर फिर मुलाकात होगी.
फिर
फिर क्या, इतना ही है.
अरे सॉरी, समझे नहीं. मतलब कुछ समझे. बहुत अच्छा था.
In the same way, though the film is set in the city of Varanasi and is completely engaged in its cultural world, it speaks beyond the limitations as it grows on you with its performances and makes you think and question the world out there, which is of course one of the core purposes of any art form.